We're going to go ahead and get started. I appreciate you all for being so timely. This is April Wagner, and my husband and I will be your hosts tonight. And we've got something really, really exciting to share with you. A little bit about myself and my husband. This is actually an industry that we've been in now for 29 years, a little over 29 years at this point. And it's an industry that has been super good to us. We spent our first 25 years with one company in which we literally put nutritional products, supplements into physicians' offices and kind of trained them on how to run a business, a kind of a turnkey program there. We did over 200 million in sales there, made us in excess of 15 million. So it was a great venture. And about 4 years ago, though, we made a choice to actually switch to this company. And when you hear a little bit about the background on the company and you hear a little bit about the product, you'll understand exactly why we went ahead and did that. It'll be very obvious. So, but what we're going to talk about tonight is the difference between supplements versus activators. And so if you're not familiar with supplements, I think most of us are, but supplements or supplementation is when we take in maybe a multivitamin, a vitamin D or a vitamin C, vitamin B, those type of things that are considered direct antioxidants. Or maybe it's the reason that we ingest some fruits and vegetables. It's all for the antioxidants to help keep us healthy. But there's something new, a newer science that's even more exciting, and it's called activators. And that's what I'm going to explain a little tonight. And I know you're going to be super excited after you actually hear this. But our company, LifeVantage, actually began in a lab with a single question: is declining health something we must accept as part of getting old? And so I don't know about you, that's certainly been, and maybe because my past experience, certainly been a concern to me. I had two very distinct instances. My own grandma, who Bobby and I took care of for many years, ultimately had to go into a nursing home, and horrible decline with, not having her memory and feeding tubes, and just, it was horrible towards the end. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So that's why declining health would certainly be of interest to me. But equally interesting was my husband's grandma, who had 9 children. And one day she went around the house and she labeled everything in that house so there'd be no fighting. And having had no known sickness or disease, sat down in a chair and passed. And I always thought that is certainly the way I want to go compared to my grandmother. So this has always been of interest to me. But what happened back in the 60s is that this scientist in a lab actually figured out that there's a way that our body can keep itself healthy. And he figured out a way that there's a pathway that our bodies create antioxidants, which is the thing that keeps us healthy. And he was awarded a lot of awards for this. One of them in particular was the Elliott Crescent Award, which is really the award, most of us don't hear about this, but it's the award that one scientist doctor gets worldwide for having the most impact on human life. And so this is how this actually started. And again, in the medical field, scientific field, this was big, big news at that point. The downside to that was he found out that this pathway that creates all these antioxidants that keeps us healthy stops working in our 20s. And so we now know that aging starts in our 20s. So he went back to the lab for a number of decades, and he figured out a way to turn on this pathway so that our body can create the antioxidants even as we get older, so that we can be healthy. So this is big, big news. This is called NRF2 activation, this pathway that throws off all these antioxidants. And when we flip the switch on this pathway, it turns on the power of our good genes to keep us healthy and turns off the bad genes. So that really kind of means that, we have control over a large amount of our genes now. We're not necessarily destined to the genes, good or bad, of our parents. We don't want to have those bad genes. We want to have just good genes. And so we can do a lot through these type of products. The scientific term that we kind of need to know, though, is something called oxidative stress. And most people don't know this. It's a kind of a medical term again. But what it is the difference between all the free radicals that our body creates. And our body creates free radicals simply by eating, breathing, talking, and even more so when we exercise, and some of our environment, water, and different things creates a lot of free radicals. Now we ingest either through supplementation or fruits and vegetables, supplements or antioxidants. And so the difference really between all those free radicals, which we create, are so many, so great, and any kind of amount of antioxidants we could take in, the difference is called oxidative stress. And this oxidative stress, you can see, gets a very diseased looking cell. And so this scientist created a product called Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, again, to flip that pathway, that NRF2 pathway that creates all those antioxidants. And so we can reduce oxidative stress with this product 40% in the very first 30 days, which is huge. Protandim also activates your body to create more than 1 million antioxidants per tablet. It increases our glutathione by over 300%. If you're not familiar with glutathione, that's our master antioxidant. And there are many studies out there relating sickness and disease to the levels of glutathione. In fact, people spend a lot of money to go to medical spas to get IVs and stuff, just trying to boost that immune or the glutathione, the master antioxidant. It's not an easy thing to boost. Because this science is so exciting, we have over 13 patents that protect the duplication of this formulation. And it's a simple formulation. You can see it's all plant-based, so very much in style, what people want. But having been with that previous company, my husband and I already took ashwagandha, green tea, and turmeric. Those were things and supplements that we already took. So we thought, well, maybe we'll just add 2 more products and take bacopa and milk thistle. But that's not how this product works. This one tablet will give you 1,800% better results than if I took 5 of these tablets and tried to be a mad scientist with it. So 1,800% better results with his recipe, his formulation, which is super exciting. So much so that in a daily thing, every day, day in, day out, we would need to ingest 11 pounds of blueberries, 375 oranges, 120 tablets of vitamin C, and drink 87 glasses of red wine every day, day in, day out, to be the equivalent of this one little pill. So I don't know about you, but I just don't think that I could ever ingest that much food in any one day. But one day I actually calculated the cost, and it's like $700 a day, because food prices are rising, just for this, to get the benefits that we can get from this one little pill. But it gets even more exciting. For every month that we're on Protandim, we reduce a whole decade of this oxidative stress. And as you can see by the chart below, the older we get, the more oxidative stress we have, and therefore more inflammation, more disease. So for every month you're on Protandim, you reduce a whole decade. So much so that if I took an 80-year-old who had been on the product for 8 months, and a 60-year-old who'd been on Protandim for 6 months, and a 40-year-old who'd been on Protandim for 4 months, and a 20-year-old, and I drew all their blood, I could not truly tell whose blood was that of the 20-year-old, which is, just so exciting there. So much so that the NIA did a study that, confirms Protandim extends life by an average of 7%, which is equally exciting. But this is the proof. When we were in that previous company, and again, we dealt with a lot of physician offices, it was really always kind of their opinion or our opinion on how much vitamin C, vitamin D, all these antioxidants someone would take. It was kind of like politics or religion. Everybody had a different opinion. Here, there's so much science backing this. There are some 250,000 studies on just oxidative stress alone. And there's a really cool site, and actually there's 2 of them. PubMed.gov is kind of a site where doctors and scientists will go, and they're looking primarily at drugs and the interactions, caution warnings, and ingredients in different drugs. And you typically don't get your product in PubMed.gov unless it's what they call a peer review study. Peer review study means that not only did one large university do it, but also that a bunch of other doctors actually went ahead and conferred with that. So, it's not even an independent study. It's a study that's kind of like a round table. Many people had eyes on it and all came out with the same conclusion. So you really don't ever see nutritional products at all on PubMed.gov, or another site you can double check all of this is called Google Scholar. There are some 30+ studies on the product itself. So over 250,000 on oxidative stress that we're reducing, but over 30+ on the product itself. That's never heard of. Again, people do studies on ingredients, but not so much on the product. It's because of that synergistic effects and the results we're getting. Places like Harvard, the National Institute of Health, the National Institute of Aging, Colorado State, Florida State, Washington University went so far as to say the health effects of NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and the most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine, and likened it to things like penicillin and aspirin, big discoveries that, again, have huge impact on the human life. The second product that we talk about is that of mitochondria, NRF1. And what it does is it actually gives our body the energy that we need at a cellular level to do a lot of things, really, to keep our hearts pumping, our lungs inflating, deflating, our brain working, our muscles working. And we have so many of these little mitochondria per cell, thousands and thousands of them. But the sad thing is, by the time we reach midlife, we've almost damaged about half of the mitochondria we have per each cell, which is a lot of times why people say when you get to be 40, it's all downhill at that point, or they feel a difference, or even as people age, they start slowing down because they don't have the energy at a cellular level. And what this energy does is it improves sleep, it improves cellular repair, it supports cardiovascular and brain health, and it just improves cellular health, which is just so important so that you can be the best version and have the energy and focus and memory and all those different things that you want, but you got to have that energy. And again, you can see this is just a simple formulation, but really, I mean, it's the recipe, it's the synergistic effect that he gets by putting these ingredients together that is just unknown to anyone else out there. The third product we have is something called NAD. And this is amazing. You can look at the host of benefits there. And we feel this product 100% in the first 24 hours. So this is an amazing third product to round out these pathways, but it improves mental focus and concentration. It supports positive mood and motivation, helps with mental and physical energy, physical endurance, recovery there, helps with libido, helps with weight loss, inflammation, cholesterol levels, the vascular system. We can go on and on and on. This is a product that you feel right away. And it's a pathway that for a long time, people have been doing severe calorie restriction, because if somebody like me were to only eat 400 to 600 calories a day, I might be able to activate this pathway, but not something people can just do. Too hard to do. Most people aren't willing to do it. So again, by taking these 2 little tablets, we're able to get great results with flipping the switch on this pathway as well. Now, quite often people say, all right, a lot of benefits there, a lot of good benefits. I kind of want them all. Which one should I take? Really, they all work together, and this is patent pending now. We get 2,100% better results with each product when we use all 3 of them together, as opposed to just using the NRF2 or just the NAD. We really suggest, and the science proves, that it's better to take all 3 together. And there's actually a price break when you do use all 3 together. We also, because NRF2 activation is so exciting on the inside and we can see the results, we want to use it on the outside as well. So there's a great skincare line that we get great results with. So it's got that NRF2 activation in it. Hair care, again, as you get older, ladies, the hair gets thinner. Guys, they actually lose their hair. Great hair care line as well. And then we have brain health with the NRF2 in it. And then we have eye health as well. But, the basics, the hair and skin, those are on the Think Dirty app. And if you're not familiar with that, it's an app you can download on your phone and put any shampoo or body wash you might have in your shower, and you'll be amazed. I know for Bobby and I personally, they were 8s and 9s. But this line is so clean that they all come in between a 0 and 3, and most of them are really just a 1 or a 2. So, so exciting there. But our newer line is this Icy Bright, and really, I'm kind of blown away myself by the market share for this, because who do you know that has macular degeneration, retina problems, trouble driving at night, is in front of a computer or their cell phone all day, and I don't have time to do all the science on it, but this is a product that affects everyone. Kids outside playing soccer in the sun to, people that are just looking at their cell phones all day long. So, that's the Icy Bright, our newer product. Okay, so just to summarize all the benefits, and there are so many that we get from these products in such a healthy way, but it improves sleep quality, improves exercise, recuperation, vitality, increases overall energy, better memory, focus, concentration. I mentioned libido, I mentioned weight loss, healthier hair, skin, and nails. You know, when the inside's happy, the outside looks better too, but slows down aging cells and restores your own blood to that of a 20-year-old. And so I couldn't pick one of those. I want all of those. But again, that's the exciting stuff on the products. But you know, the company has an even better backstory, which is equally fascinating. And I'm going to have my husband sit here, and he's actually going to share that story with you. And I just want to thank you for your time tonight. Thanks.
Hey, good evening, everyone. You know, it's funny, every time I hear April talking about the products, I want to go and take mine again. You know, I'm fortunate. She lays them out for me in the morning, puts them in a bowl, and down they all go. But just to recap that for a second, we're moving into an age now where supplementing is becoming the old way and activating is the current and new way of doing things. And I'll tell you, one thing that really got my attention was, you know, when I'm 61, okay, and when growing up, and I come from a big family, you know, my dad was one of 9. My mom had 4 brothers and sisters. I have 52 first cousins. It's a fairly decent sized family. And there's a lot of stuff that ran in the family. Heart disease, cancer, I mean, just a variety of different things that, and you grow up thinking, you know, that's the hand I was dealt. It's my genes, my DNA. I was born that way. And now with this science, with activation, with these discoveries, we actually have control of 80% of our DNA and our genes. Think about 80%, only 20% is kind of the hand we've been dealt. And we can work with the other 80%. So it's amazing. And I want to give you a little bit background on the company, because when our old company went out of business in October of 2017, we became free agents. And at the time, we were the top distributors in the world in that company. And we had the opportunity to go anywhere. You know, I mean, we could have gone with any company in this field, in any field that was in marketing. We could have done anything, but this was so obvious that we were onto something scientifically and technology and results wise that could change the world, that this was where we needed to be. And you know, it was loud and clear. But a little bit about how it got started and where it got to today. You know, April told you the beginning, the doctor, the studies, and all that stuff in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But let's talk about how it kind of got started on the business front. And in 2005, and you've all heard of this, we've all seen it, the show's been on forever, ABC Primetime. Okay, ABC Primetime, investigative report, heard about these studies, this product, this science. And if you know anything about ABC Primetime, it's one of those gotcha shows. They're trying to expose fraud, scammy things, okay? Illegitimate scams and fraud, okay? That's basically it. That's what we call it. It's a gotcha show. And they went into our offices and our labs, okay? And you know, we weren't even LifeVantage at the time. This was just where the doctors and scientists were. They sent John K. Eunice in at the time, and he's still with, you know, he still does investigative reports to this day, to have his blood checked and then rechecked so they could prove that it was a scam and a lie and didn't work. Okay. So here's what we're allowed to say, according to the, you know, federal government, FDA, Securities Exchange Commission, because we're publicly traded and stuff. Here's what we're allowed to say. Protandim NRF2, okay, reduces oxidative stress by an average of 40%, you know, in a month. Okay, that's what we're allowed to say. Well, John K. Eunice had his blood taken. He didn't wait a month. After 2 weeks, okay, he had his blood checked again, and his oxidative stress had gone down 45% in just 2 weeks. Who knows what it would have been in a month? It may have been 55, 60%, who knows? But what was supposed to be a gotcha TV show ended up becoming all commercial. Okay. And we still show it to folks to this day. We just say, here's how it began. But that led to us getting listed on the NASDAQ or on the stock exchange under LFVN. We went from in-store selling because this was a product that had a story behind it. We switched to direct sales in 2009. And that was really the birth of an industry called nutrigenomics. And that's some of what April was talking about. It's the study and the science of the way food and vitamins and nutrients interact with our genes and our DNA. And that in itself is going to be a $17 billion industry in the next few years. But currently, we're $250 million a year company. We do 240, 250 million a year, but we're on pace to become a $1 billion company annually in the next 5 years. You know, and one thing I always like to mention, I don't know if you guys, I love the movie Erin Brockovich, and I know Julia Roberts played Erin Brockovich, but the real Erin Brockovich is an activist worldwide. Okay, that kind of launched her career, that movie, in the activation, exposing stuff out there. And she's actually on our board and works closely with our board of directors with the company. So it's just a little side note there. But we are an international company. We're currently in 22 countries. And as of yesterday, and I got the coolest deal in the world. That's why I hope everybody gets involved with us. I tell you what my day looked like today. I got up this morning, okay, and we had a Zoom like this, but only we were doing it for the very first time, the first one in the Philippines. And for me, where I am in Florida and doing it in the Philippines, it's exactly 12 hours later. It's the flip side of the clock. So it was 8:30 in the morning for me. It was 8:30 at night over there. Okay. So we did that. Okay. Then I had some personal stuff to do. And then we had another Zoom with our team in the Netherlands. Okay. And that was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Then I had a Zoom training some Pro 5s from a Pro 5 Summit, a training that we did in Utah a couple months ago. At 6 o'clock, okay? And then a Zoom here covering the United States, at 8:30. It's so cool, okay? From my kitchen table. I did all of that from my kitchen table, an international multi-million-dollar business, and we're gonna be expanding into another 50 countries over the next 5 years. And see, what's happened with technology, especially with COVID having happened and all the pandemic and shutdown and lockdown, people are looking to be able to do business from home. They're looking to be able to do it from their smartphone or their computer. And we're not limited to the United States. We can do it globally, and we do. Okay, so it's very exciting what's going on with the company. But let me give you just a few ideas of the benefits of a business like this. Now, I mentioned pandemic, COVID. It's about 20 months or so that we've been dealing with it here. And think about it. When things got locked down, it didn't matter if you're in a red state, blue state, whatever it was, everything changed, everything tightened up, things got shut down. Some of us could move around more than others, but all of a sudden, the awareness and the desire in people to be able to work from home was unbelievable, okay? Everybody wanted an opportunity to work from home, and that's what we do. We have a chance not only to work from home, but from anywhere. See, if you have a smartphone, okay, and you can get on the internet, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, whatever, you can be in business anywhere. And all we do is socially share information by text or app, okay? Or we have an app that goes on your phone and we share information with people. We have a virtual office to run the business online. There's minimal startup costs, no inventory requirements, low to no overhead. Personal online store. Here's what's cool. This is an illustration of the store. Up here, there's a flag. Get this. The minute that you have a business like this, let's say with LifeVantage, you are licensed and allowed to do business in all 23 countries that we're in. And up here, there's a flag, and all you need to do is click on that flag, and all 23 countries will come up, and you click on the country, And everything that we can sell in that country comes up in the language of that country. It's so cool that we can run an international business from a laptop, a tablet, a smartphone, or kitchen table. It's amazing what can be done. And those are just a few of the benefits, but look at the earning possibilities. Okay. Now, I want to share with you, this is not my opinion. These are not my numbers. Quarterly, we have to submit reports to the Securities and Exchange Commission. We're publicly traded. We're on the NASDAQ. Okay, so these are numbers have all been accounted for and verified. But I see the 3 red arrows here. I just want you to think about this for a second. If you had 50 people, okay, that were using the products that April was talking about, that Tri-Synergizer, okay, every month that those products went out, you'd make about $600 or $700 minimum. Okay, maybe make a car payment. If you move down to here, that second arrow, you know, that's about, let's see, that's about 200 people. So if you had 4 people that had 50 customers, you'd make $3,000 to $4,000 a month. You'd be looking at $40,000, $50,000 a year supplemental income. You move down to the third red arrow, Elite Pro 7, that's $13,000, $14,000 a month. Okay, that's about, let's see, if it was 200, that's about 1,000 people using the product. And you're saying, well, Bobby, you know, that's a lot of people. Well, not if it's 10 people with 100 customers. See, it's a network of business. It's a subscription business. It repeats every month. And because it repeats every month, you get paid the income every month. Now, I'll show you one more where there's not a red arrow. We're currently Pro 8s. We hit Pro 8 in our second year. Okay, and that's $25,000, $30,000 a month in income. Okay, so, you know, I show you this because there's a number for everybody. What got me and April excited 4 years ago when we joined was this number. And you say, well, 97,000, and that's monthly, by the way. It's not annual, that's monthly. That's over $1 million a year. I said, yeah, that's what a Master Pro 10 makes. But what got me excited is there were already a dozen people who had done it. It wasn't this make-believe, pie in the sky type of number. I met the dozen people that were already earning it. So I'm sure somewhere in this category, this column here, there's a number that would be important, okay, to you. But you know what? That brings us to this. Is it a good business opportunity? Like, is LifeVantage a good business opportunity? Well, let me ask you. We have unique patented products that aren't available anywhere from anybody at any company other than us. So I would say that's a very good business opportunity. There's only one place to get them. A mass market where everybody gets benefits from kids all the way up to geriatrics. They're very affordable. All kinds of friends and family deals and subscription discounts and stuff, but they're all backed. The product line's backed by reputable science, independent, unfunded, meaning we did not pay for the science, okay? People studied it on their own science. And here's the beauty of it. It's consumable. And we use a subscription model, which means it's like an auto ship, but it's very easily controlled and changed and canceled or adapted based on a person's needs. Now, the real question is this, okay? Can I do this? Now, you may find this shocking, but I'm going to be honest with you. You're already doing it. See, what it takes to do this business, you already do every day. You're just probably not getting paid for it because you haven't found a vehicle to use those skills. See, all we do is use an app or text from our phone. And you do that every day. You're checking your email, you're checking Facebook and Instagram, you're calling Uber, you order from Amazon. I mean, we do that every day. And the way we do this business is during the in-between times of our day. The same way you check text and email and check Facebook and Instagram and order from Amazon, the same way, okay? The in-between times of your day. And we have a very simple ITT system where we invite people to take a look, okay? We share a tool with them, a Zoom, a video, you know, something like that. And we have a teammate answer questions, and just step in for third-party validation. That's it. Okay, we have regular meetings, trainings, we have all that other stuff, incentive trips, but the can I do this? You're already doing it. These are habits you've already acquired and skills you already have. Okay, so that brings us to this. So how can I be supportive? You know, how can it work for me? Well, there's a few different options here. You know, you can activate your own health and be a customer and take advantage of reducing a decade's worth of oxidative stress, turn back that clock for every month you're on it, okay? Erase a decade for every month. There's no fees to join. It's a monthly subscription. You get a discount. You know, you save about 20% by being on subscription, and shipping's free. But what we're hoping is maybe you'll join us in the business and share the products, not only use them, but share them with others. You know, help us change people's lives and build a legacy business. If you're not familiar with a legacy business means, this business is willable and transferable to your children, grandchildren, and heirs. You can pass it on when you're no longer here. But here's another big one, okay? Referrals. I mentioned COVID, pandemic, last 20 months. I said that earlier. Be a source of referrals for yourself or for the person who invited you. We'd prefer you do it for yourself, but you know so many people, just like I do, that financially were affected because of COVID and the pandemic, and people that are concerned about their health. And, you know, obviously a lot of people lost their lives, and that's very sad, and we pray for them, and that is very sad. But one thing that April didn't mention, there isn't anything out there that could be any better for your immune system than these products, those 3 products on the screen right now. Okay. I mean, I'm telling you, we all need to take care of our immune system. We know that now. We found out the hard way over the last 20 months. And there's people out there that now want to take good care of their health. They're concerned about it. There's people out there that want a second or third income. They want a backup plan. They want a side gig or a side hustle. And we have that now. And there's lots of those people now. Okay. And you know who they are, and I know who they are. So how do you get started? It's easy. Just get back to the person who told you about this video, whether you're watching it on replay or watching it live. Just get back to the person who invited you onto this Zoom and say, hey, that's really interesting. How can I participate? What's next? Help me get started. And they'll do that for you. So with that, April and I, on behalf of us, we just, want to share and let you know that we're very grateful that you decided to share a half hour of your time with us. And we're very grateful that you did and the support you're showing. But what I want to do here is just stop the share, okay, and go back to the screen and just have a chance to say good night to you, or if you're in California, good day to you, okay? It's really funny. I see Kenneth's on the screen. He started this morning. We actually did the Philippine call for him, okay? So he started the whole thing, but I'm thinking, wow, Philippines to Netherlands to Salt Lake City, and then around the country tonight. Kind of a fun business, but do me a favor, at least get on the products if you're not on them, but look at the business model, have a quick conversation with the person that introduced you to it. And if you need some questions answered, if we brought some things up that you hadn't really thought about, let's talk about it. But we really appreciate your time. I wish you a good evening, and just say good night to everyone. So if you would wave, you make me feel happy. Thank you. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.